smile, still talking on her phone, and turned away without a word to me. Despite the name tag on my shirt, I had no doubt that Elle, like all the other business people who flocked through the doors of this chain, had no idea what my name was, despite the fact they had been coming in as long as I'd been working there. There were way more interesting things to look at in teetotalers than my exhausted face. The leering fish in their wall tank were easier to feast one's eyes on while waiting on a coffee than the actual human in front of you. Not that I could necessarily blame the customers. I often found myself staring at the fish, rather than the patrons, lest I make eye contact with the wrong weirdo. As Elle used her hip to open the door while balancing her coffee, a manicured hand curled over the top of her head on the door, pulling it to allow her through. At first, she looked up in annoyance, but like me, her eyes popped to see the stunningly handsome face attached to the arm. For a split second, she froze, studying his face. Thanks, Elle choked as the tawny-toned man grinned at her, flashing a perfect array of ivory teeth. My pleasure, he replied, stepping aside to allow Elle out before stepping in where she had stood. My jaw slacked to see that he wasn't alone. His two companions were just as beautiful as him, although in very different ways. Surprisingly, the first man was the shortest of the three, though I couldn't be sure if that was accurate at second glance. They were all very close in stature, the tallest one, the blonde, who ambled in last. As he stood, his face twisted in an uncomfortable frown, as if he would rather be anywhere else. The middle man had black hair and eyes so piercing blue I could feel them from where I stood. I barely knew which way to look between the trio, who exuded power with their confidence, expensive shoes, and casual but pricey button-down shirts. They exuded class and money. Or maybe that was just my hormones talking. Wave after wave of elegance radiated toward me, even from that distance, and I had to give myself a shake. All three of them were so very good-looking, it was hard to believe that they were all together in a group. The doorstop caught me gawking, his emerald iris taking me aback, the contrast to his honey complexion stopping my heart. But before I could manage a watery grin, Xander's voice was in my ear again. The men from Silverpiece, Xander piped in, shattering my reverie and the modicum of euphoria it had given me in the middle of my shift. Gritting my teeth, I pivoted and looked at him, his chin bobbing up and down confidently, like I should know what he was talking about. What? I barked with far more venom than I intended. Those guys who just walked in, they're from Silverpiece. I stared uncomprehendingly at him. Is that supposed to mean something to me? I asked, regaining my composure. The moment had passed, and I had work to do that didn't entail gawping at men way out of my league. Xander snorted arrogantly. Really? You don't know what Silverpiece Corp is? I rolled my eyes and returned to an order that slid through on the machine, ignoring the fact that the men had congregated at a table near the counter. I had a good view of all three from there, but I wouldn't let myself be distracted, even if Xander was still rambling in my ear. They're a huge conglomerate, he went on, despite the fact that I gave him no encouragement. He had never been very good at reading the room. They own everything from hotels to fashion lines. That's nice, I replied flatly. Can you get me the almond milk? He grabbed the carton out of the fridge, his hazel eyes steadfast on the table as he thrust the carton toward me. His intense gaze irked me. Stop staring at them, Z, I scolded him. Don't you have something to do? I knew he wasn't scheduled on my station today. He snorted, ignoring my work.